The truth about the Queen's money, it's not what you think. When you hear the words, the Queen of the United Kingdom, what comes to mind? Palaces, gold, priceless crowns, golden carriages, and a fortune so vast it seems almost mythical. Most people would swear on anything that Queen Elizabeth II was a billionaire, that she had enough money to buy half of Europe. But the truth is much simpler, much colder, and much sharper than that. The Queen was never a billionaire. And it's not because she didn't have money, because she absolutely did. It's because people confuse two very fundamental things: the personal wealth of the woman and the vast wealth of the institution she represented, known as the Crown. Today we're putting everything on the table, no politeness, just the facts. So let's start with the Queen's personal wealth. How much did she actually have? The most solid, repeated estimates from financial experts and investigative journalists place Queen Elizabeth's personal fortune somewhere between 350 and 450 million pounds. Now, for any normal person, that is an incredible amount of money. It's a life-changing fortune. But in the rarefied world of billionaires, that's considered very wealthy, not liquid gold in the basement rich. The Queen was rich by any real-world standard, but not by the inflated, mythical standard many people imagine. So why do so many people think she was a billionaire? The reason is simple. It's what we see. We see the magnificent palaces, the historic castles, the breathtaking art collections, the glittering crowns loaded with diamonds, and we assume it all belonged to her. But here is the critical piece of information that most people don't know. Almost none of it was personally owned by Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. Instead, these assets belong to something called the Crown Estate. This is a massive property empire worth tens of billions of pounds. But here's the catch. The Queen couldn't sell any of it. She couldn't mortgage a palace to fund a project. She couldn't cash in on any of those assets for her personal use. Her role was more like that of a CEO of a massive corporation. You manage it, you represent it, but you do not personally own its assets. And in the world of finance, that is the crucial difference between a real, personal fortune and a powerful myth. This begs the question, what did the Queen actually own? This is where things become much clearer and the numbers start to make sense. Her personal property included Balmoral Castle in Scotland and Sandringham House in Norfolk. These were her private residences, passed down through the family. She also owned her personal jewelry collection, separate from the crown jewels. She had her own private investments and a world-renowned private stamp collection, one of the most valuable on the planet. And she received an annual income from the Duchy of Lancaster, a private estate. When you add all of this up, you arrive at that figure of a few £100 million, not billions. The Queen lived an extremely comfortable and privileged life, but one based on solid financial ground, not on financial fiction. Let's go back to the Crown Estate because that's where the myth really comes from. When people see Buckingham Palace, the Tower of London, the crown jewels with their legendary diamonds, and the massive real estate portfolio that includes parks, buildings, commercial zones, and thousands upon thousands of acres of land, they automatically assume the Queen owned everything, but in reality, she couldn't sell Buckingham Palace. She couldn't take out a loan using the Tower of London as collateral, and she absolutely cannot pawn a single stone from the crown jewels. These are state properties, national treasures, not personal possessions. The Queen only used them as part of her official role. She was their custodian, not their owner. So why does any of this matter? It matters because the difference between symbolic value and private monetary value is enormous. The Queen had immense personal wealth, yes, but she did not have access to the endless riches of the institution she represented. She was a wealthy individual, but she was not the owner of the United Kingdom, as some people might imagine. This highlights a critical lesson. The one who controls is not necessarily the one who owns. And the queen was the ultimate symbol of that principle. So what is the final truth, sharp and without mercy? Queen Elizabeth II had enormous symbolic power. She had global influence and a level of prestige that few leaders in history could ever match. And yes, she lived in a level of luxury that 99.9% of people will never even witness, but financially, she was very wealthy, but she was not a billionaire. The billionaire legend is exactly that, a legend. It's a side effect of the grandeur of the monarchy, not a reflection of her personal bank accounts. The sharp conclusion is this: the queen was never a billionaire. She was a woman with a solid, respectable fortune of a few hundred million. The myth of the billions exists because we, the public, confuse the person with the institution. And in the world of monarchy, that confusion is the greatest and most powerful illusion of all. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into subjects you thought you knew. See you next time.